Welcome back to the show, fellow travelers. We are the Bridge Masters, back at it again. I'm your main host, I guess, live on Air Max because I do all the editing. I have Sean P joining me as always. Jew Blue is a new guest, and also TNT Takara is joining us. These are all friends of mine
Hi.
throughout life, so everybody can just give a little bit of spiel about yourself. 5 seconds to tell about what you do. Julius, what do you do?
I'm an assistant principal at a school,
Okay,
and I'm the man.
but you the assistant though. All right, and Takara, what do you do?
I'm a corporate banker.
Nice, nice. So we have a little bit of a strange issue that we're going to talk about here. We got four of us, so we're going to try to keep it peaceful. We're going to try to stay
Time
in
out.
line.
And Sean, what do you do?
Oh, my bad. Nobody knows what you do,
Yeah.
Sean. Sean, we don't know what you do.
Golly.
What do you do, Sean?
I'm a human resource specialist for the Navy.
Oh,
Oh, I knew you like water. Anyways, let's go to this topic right here. Today's topic today we're going to talk about is social media not safe for work today? I didn't put today in there, but you know what I mean. So to kick off discussion, I'm going to let one of our guests join the foray first. Who wants to go? Heads or tails, Julius or TNT? I'm flipping a coin right now. Call it in the air.
tails.
All
Hey,
right.
Tails.
Actually, I never flipped the coin. I'll just go with Takara because she said something first. You go ahead and start out, Takara.
Thank you.
What made you want to talk about social media and not being safe for work?
You know what? I'll probably say is like I jumped into social media literally from day one, and I've seen it grow and change, and it's not. I've seen so many crazy policies come and go about what you can post. Your employer can get your passwords as part of the application. People doing mob mentality. So I would say no, it's not.
I
Okay,
agree.
that's a good take. Julius, what do you think about that? Like, how do you feel about social media in the workplace?
I actually agree with what she said. However, I really don't like that it can get you in so much trouble. Like, for example, we got the college students who dumped the drinks on the Laker fans, and now their school is getting involved, and they could possibly be expelled. Although I do want them to get expelled because that is racist as crap. But it's not fair that our social media, gets used against us so much. And also with Jamel Hill, a while ago she called President Trump a white supremacist, which I agree. She,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then she recently, yesterday, she said that she basically went at Jones at what's the Cowboys, Jerry
Jerry
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah, she went at Jerry Jones and saying that the Cowboys should be able to express their opinions. And ESPN suspended her for 2 weeks because of
Hey.
her comments on her personal Twitter. That's I don't think that's cool. I mean, you shouldn't be able to monitor what I write on my personal account and use it against me at work. I don't think that's cool.
Okay.
But it's
Well,
helpful.
see,
You put it out there.
Like, for example, I like a few years ago when I worked for Regions Bank, I posted some on my Facebook. I posted a gun and some condoms, and I was stupid. It was dumb. It was right after I graduated, and I said always trap.
yeah, that was dumb. But
What the
anyway,
hell? What was I thinking?
Hold on, wait a second. You posted a post of a gun and some
had a
condoms,
condom and
and
said
it was
always
always
safe.
strapped. Hey, man, that's funny as hell.
I mean,
When you're not in the when you're not in the business world or anything, yes,
Well,
that's funny as hell.
well, look, I'm sitting here counting folks' money with some always strapped. Got a condom and a gun.
but listen, as a person who would let you handle my money, I would feel secure in that because you making good decisions.
Well, apparently Regions didn't feel secure because my
Did you get fired?
no, I didn't get fired. My branch
You
manager
get,
was like,
you
"What is
get, you
this?"
get reprimanded?
No, I didn't get reprimanded, but it was like a slap on the wrist. Like, you can't be representing us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, see, that's where it goes right there too. It's because that a lot of people today they post where they work at on their
Yeah,
social media side. So when you post anything, you become a representation of that company
I
or that
agree.
organization. So they can be like, okay, well, this person works here and they're just doing this. This person might be this is how that business be working type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
So
see, where does it end though? What
that
is it? What is it? My
Well, see,
job end and my personality comes back into play.
all right. So let's say it like in this one. Like when I was in the military, I could not go to a political rally in uniform. I'll say it like that, in uniform.
That's
But you
because
were in uniform. If you
no,
went on
no,
your own
wait. You
personal
couldn't.
time,
I take it back. No, I couldn't go to a political rally at all. Period. While in the military.
No, it's because you was gonna incite a riot. Because you always start fights, Sean.
No, it's not that.
People don't
is
like you.
why,
It's
which
more.
is
It's more. It's more the
that's
fact that
why
if someone knew. No, it's more the fact that if someone knew that I was in the military, it makes it seem like
You're endorsing
the
them.
military in that particular voter is backing that particular candidate or whatever the case may be. So it goes off that representation right there. Whereas also, too, we really can't talk down on the presidents. Where I see a lot of people not
Well,
be
that is
so
a great
tempted,
segue.
and I'd be so tempted to call them out on it. I'm like, look, you saying like you can't talk down negative no matter what your political views on that particular person is.
That
You can't say nothing because they're that elected person and they're the commander in chief, and you're still in the
but see,
military.
isn't that? But what is the freedom? Where does my freedom of speech come into? Where is it that I'm a person? If me TNT says X Y on my own personal time, it's present me, and that's that gray line that we're skirting with work and employment. And I mean, you work in human resources. It My company has an extremely broad social media policy. Like anything that I post on my personal accounts, regardless of whether or not it represents the company, could get me fired. That's
Well, see,
ridiculous.
that's why you have privacy
all right. That's a
stuff.
good segue.
ding 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 ding
That's a
ding.
good segue. You guys have said enough. I'm gonna need y'all to
Because
shut up. So let me
I'm
go
gonna let
ahead.
you shut up,
So
ugly bastard.
let's go to the next topic at hand, which is really what started this whole thing. So let me just try to frame it from my perspective of what went down, and you guys correct me if I miss anything. So maybe like a little less than a month ago, Jamel Hill did already criticize Donald Trump for basically giving a slap on the wrist to white supremacists, but but really calling like what NFL players SOBs for protesting, right? And so, and then people were trying to say, oh, she was inciting racism, calling them white supremacists, she should be fired. But ESPN really didn't do anything. They just said, hey, just chill. They told her to chill, right?
Well, they issued a blanket statement.
They
Basically
issued a
said
blanket
her
statement.
views, they're not the views of ESPN.
And then
And they
recently,
tried to suspend her, and everybody was like, "If you suspend her, we're not going to go on."
right?
So that was the other part of that too.
And then recently, this past
Yeah.
week,
And Michael Smith is a real nigga. That man said, nah, I ain't going on this bitch. That man
Okay.
said, fuck that. No, you spent her, I ain't going on either.
okay, we're not at that part right now, but I remember what you're saying. So this part that just happened this past weekend, she commented in regards to the sponsors of the NFL that we should boycott the sponsors of the NFL for allowing the owners to whatever, basically saying Jerry Jones is saying, hey, if any players kneel or protest the anthem, you're going to be benched. And for some reason, I don't understand. I mean, I can bring it up here. Let me bring up where Trump actually tweets so people can understand that Trump tweeted this himself. This is the tweet here. He calls out Jamel Hills by name, even though she made no mention of him. And that's kind of what was strange. She was like, with Jamel Hill at the mic. I don't know what the mic is. I think he meant MIC. It is no wonder ESPN ratings have tanked. In fact, tanked so badly that it is a talk of the industry. Right?
He came for her hard.
But all she said, but this is what she said: change happens when advertisers are impacted. If you feel strongly about JJ's statement, meaning Jerry Jones's statement, boycott his advertisers.
Right. So she made no mention of Trump, but yet he felt that his ego was in such jeopardy that she had to mention Jamel by name. And to me, I'm trying to take it back. So what do you guys think about that? Was she calling out Trump?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. But it all stems back to, I'm like, man, everyone's holding people who has regular jobs at a higher level than the president when he can go on and say what he just said.
Come on. He can sit there and he can say, grab a woman in the vagina.
Well, let's not even go that far back. Let's not go that far back. Let's just read his tweets. Let's just read his tweets as of today. Let's just find something. He's still talking bad about Bob Corker 14 hours ago. Was made to sound a fool. Highly respected. Let's see where he goes. He talks about Jamel Hill. So 2 tweets later, he's talking about he's attacking someone else. This is today. He's talking about the NFL. He's talking about all these things that have nothing to do with American policies or making America great. Which, you know, that's great. It's a great slogan, but this is what he's spending his time. Like, look at the timestamps. He's tweeting at least 20 times a day. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Look right here. Here you go. Look, this is an hour ago. Fake news is at it again. John Kelly. It's just, this is the president.
He's gonna make a mistake and tweet the nuclear codes.
If he hasn't already, we just didn't realize it.
I know. He gonna tweet the nuclear codes, y'all. I'm telling you.
So it goes back to what Sean was saying. If the public sector is held to this standard for their social media accounts, why isn't the highest office in the world not held to the same standards of what's not safe for work?
Honestly, it's about money. Jamel Hill came for sponsors. What is that noise in the background? You can't come in the corporate America, you cannot play with their money. Which is why
they did what they did. That's why ESPN did what they did.
You can't come for their money. You can't bite the hand that feeds you and then still expect to have a job. Now, I'm not condoning them suspending her. I don't think it's right. Again, as I said earlier, you know, she's a public person. I mean, she's a person. This is her own personal Twitter. She didn't tweet as she was on Mike and Jamil on the 6 or whatever the show is. She didn't from that platform, but she works for ESPN. She's calling for sponsors of the NFL who deal with Disney, who's the parent company of ESPN. You can't do that. You can't play with that.
When you get 32 old rich white men coming to ESPN and say, "Hey, look, they had to do something at that particular point."
So look, let's just be honest.
It's a cop out.
So look, let's be honest. The NFL is struggling, and once NBA season come back, ESPN ratings will go right back up because this time right now, NFL has been on a decline for the past few years, and so they're trying. I think it's all a ploy to try to keep the NFL relevant, because the only time the NFL ratings pick up is during the playoffs anyway. Football is
like if you ever notice anything about this, about everything that's going on in the news about the flag, this kneeling of the flag or not standing for the flag, whatever the case may be, have you ever noticed that beforehand they never really showed the field? They showed the people singing. They made screen off when people standing and go back to the flag and the crowd view wise. They never really just focused on any individual, what they were doing personally. And then now, because it's news, they're highlighting it.
Bruh, have you seen that they're making the players like stretch on field now right before the anthem? So it's like you have no choice but to be on the field. Oh wait, that's kind of some bullshit, bruh. Like, really, is that what we're gonna do?
Now, this has nothing to do with this particular one, but I just think it's funny because I'm on Donald Trump's tweet, and I'm reading it. It says, President Donald J. Trump proclaims October 9th, 2017 as Columbus Day. I'm like, really? No, he can't proclaim something that's already on the calendar.
Actually, the presidents do that every year.
Really? Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is he had no choice. He wasn't president before 2018. This shit was already set on 2017.
I know, but
listen, it's all different things.
That's one of the president's things that they do every year. They make that proclamation.
All right, hold on. Let's go. Columbus Day 2022 is October 10th. I
understand that, but every year the president makes an announcement as to, like, they make that announcement about Columbus Day. They do it every year.
Well, look. Well, since we're talking about Donald Trump, I just wanted to quickly point out that Eminem pretty much destroyed him in his last freestyle in the cipher, and I feel like people are not talking about that.
It just happened like 20 minutes ago.
Still,
Eminem is still relevant?
Yes. Can I tell you what he said? He said that Donald Trump don't have the fucking nuts like an empty asylum. if you just, he's saying that the asylum usually has the crazy people. He's saying that he don't even have the nuts, and then he's pretty much talking bad about Donald Trump the whole 4 minutes of the freestyle, and it's amazing. But I don't want to sound like I'm just so against Trump. I mean, I am, but I don't want to sound so biased.
I mean, but I don't think anybody would say, anybody with a modicum of common sense would be like, oh my God, you're against Donald Trump. You're not being rational. I think most rational people who can think for themselves are like, yeah, Donald Trump's fucking nuts.
He is. There's something wrong with him, because if it was any other president, they wouldn't have got away with what Donald Trump is getting away with.
Well, check this out. Apparently, Trump's been in office since January 22nd or whatever, and he's taking credit for the 9 months that has happened. I don't know what policy he enacted, but look at what he did. Obama.
Yay,
What's that noise?
Someone whispered something.
Yeah, what is that noise?
That was you.
It sounds like a whooshing, like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Is someone washing clothes?
That was the wind from Donald Trump's hair. It was
that was just Max breathing from his nose.
What do you breathe from your mouth?
Both.
I don't get it. Is that supposed to be an insult? People breathing from their nose? No, it's mouth breather is an insult. You sound like you're underwater right now.
Hey,
time out. You okay?
No.
You good?
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Hey, Sean. Hey, don't let Sean fool you. He don't work for the Navy. He supports the Navy. Think about it. He's the water underneath the boats.
I work for the Navy. No, I'm a federal employee. I work for the Navy.
He supports them. The water that lifts all the ships and makes them go around the world, that's him.
Well, hell, shoot. You know what? While I was in the Air Force, you supported the Air Force too. Hey, I salute to you as well.
Let's get back on track.
So it just kind of brings back to another thing. So we talked about how you have the freedom to post whatever you want, and the ramifications that come from it, are different for different positions. The military, public sector, and for ESPN analysis. So let's talk about how freedom in general is different for everyone. So why is it that this president has the freedom to post what he will, but the last president was criticized for wearing a tan suit, was not as religious as they wanted him to be, and definitely Hawaii, I guess, isn't American enough. So let's talk about that. What are some other examples of where you see where freedom is different for everyone else? So let's.
When everybody was, he called everybody SOBs, but it was okay for him to do it. But now that Jamel said to do it, he calling for her job and saying that you can't do anything like that. She needs to get fired. And
I believe that the whole reason they keep on bringing up this whole topic about the flag and all of that stuff is a distraction. I mean, how many news outlets are still covering Puerto Rico right now?
You're right. So
Michigan still ain't got clean water.
Man,
yeah.
But it's like 2 years now.
3 years.
But see, that's a whole different story, and they're never going to have clean water because of the way we do our infrastructure and the way we do our cities and the way we do our taxes. They're basically telling people that you're on your own. You have to retrofit your own pipes.
You're going to die tonight.
So let's go back to the topic where it is free or the different shades. I'm gonna say this. Let's look at this college student who dumps the drinks on a Lakers fan because they said their national anthem.
She will get expelled. Why?
They're gonna expel her. But let's think about why she felt like it was okay to do that. Now, just imagine if she was sitting down and two black guys walked up to her and threw drinks on her. Just imagine all the outrage, and they probably would have went to jail for assault or something.
I don't say it as assault. I mean, hey, look, you look dirty.
Something. I mean, but
you look dusty. It's okay. You needed a bath.
I'm helping.
But it's okay for them.
I don't understand it though.
There
was a group of people all sitting down. Why did she select these two people? Everybody is sitting down. Everyone is sitting. I don't understand. What was the point? And then she writes take a kneel for the land of the slaves, disrespect. But my thing is, it looks like everybody in that section is sitting down. I don't understand
Yeah,
that. Why?
it was definitely a lot of people sitting down. However, did she go out into the concession area where everyone was still walking? No one. That's one thing that always gets me talking about. Hey, you're being disrespectful because you're not there. Yeah, but no one stops taking a piss when they're in the restroom when the anthem's being played. No one holds it, squeezes it in.
Well, two things I'm gonna say about that. One, just like a quick rebuttal. They used to, way back in the day, like the 50s, 60s. Whenever the anthem was playing, everyone would stop. You put your hand over your heart, take your hat off, etc. Just throwing that out there. We've gotten away from that.
I mean, generally speaking, that's what you're supposed to do. When the anthem is being played, you stop and go and turn towards the area where the flag is normally supposed to be flown at.
And hell, even Usain Bolt did it at one time. And then the second part is, I want to go back to one of you all said that it's a distraction. Ultimately, it is. I truly believe everything Trump is doing is a distraction, because the average American has like a 6th grade education. Let's be frank, it is what it is. So they are taking these tweets as gospel. They're taking his rhetoric as gospel. They're not thinking for themselves. So this is it. What he's saying.
Too, they're not doing it. Also, too, they're not taking the time to do the research on anything.
This is where we live. This is what's going on. And when you try to speak reason to it, you can't make a dumb man intelligent, right? Because then they'll say, "Oh, you're crazy. Whatever you're saying doesn't make sense. It's stupid. You must be stupid because I don't understand what you're saying. So clearly you're wrong." So, you want to throw those tidbits out.
I understand. I just feel like it's just a lot of double standards. Because for them, I'm just still talking about them two girls. Then they go to Christian colleges and they claim that and then I don't know. I feel like they should get expelled, even though I don't agree with people monitoring your social media. She shouldn't have put that on there though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I don't know. I just feel like for her being a white girl, I just feel like I don't like to use. Well, I'm gonna say it here. I just feel like by her being a white girl, she's gonna use that. She'll use that to try to get out of work.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you mean, and people do that all the time. Whenever they do, they commit an act of, I guess, evil. Let's just put it like that. They hide behind whatever group they feel that will protect them. So if there's one bad cop that decides to make the wrong decision and kill somebody, unintentionally, he's gonna hide behind the shield, and then everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, well, you're against law enforcement." No, I'm not against law enforcement. I'm against this one particular act of evil. So if this young white lady happens to decide to get out of her lane and just go crazy and throw a drink at somebody, which is basically assault, she's gonna hide behind, all my fellow, white sisters or whatever can come and defend me. But to me, it's like, that's not fair, because if you had went to them first and consulted them, they would have told you shouldn't do that in the first place. So why is it that people expect their communities to defend them after the fact of committing an act of evil? Why don't you consult them prior to committing the act? Because I promise you, if you did that,
because they know they'll be protected.
No,
they know that it's like,
no.
They got to go back to our overarching question right now. What are the shades of freedom? Number one is money.
I agree.
Number two, it's white males. Then it's white females. Then it's black males. Then it's black females. Then it's all the way down at the bottom, Asians, and then way down below that, Latinos and Hispanics. Those are the shades of protection in this country. And if you step outside of your lane, so to speak, and do things, Jamel Hill, and forget your place, quote unquote, you're gonna get your hand smacked.
Yeah.
Trump can do whatever the fuck he want because he's a rich white male.
Well, I truly believe that everybody's community, if you look at the whole consensus, most people are decent people. So if I were to, let's just say for me, I belong in what they call the Asian community. If I were to take the time to ask the Asian community, hey, should I commit this act of evil? More than likely, the decency and just humans will say, no, you shouldn't do that. You should really take a step back and back away from that situation. And it just applies to everything. Like, we're all people. It's not. I'm not trying to say all lives matter. Don't try to shoot me now. What I'm trying to say is, we all are people. We have individual thoughts and processes. But for some reason, when we commit an individual act that we should face the consequences for, we like to shield ourselves with it wasn't my intentional act as an individual. It was you know, it was something that my community we all agree with, right? And then it's like we try to look for empathy. If this was you, I would stick up for you, and it's like, but it's not about that. If you were me, I wouldn't have done that, But nonetheless, I digress. The point of the matter is, freedom should come the same for everybody, but when people feel like their freedoms are being trampled on, in this sense, equality, they feel like it's oppression. So right now, I don't know. I mean, you guys saw this past weekend they marched again in Charlottesville.
Yeah. And they're trying to come. Richard Spencer's coming to the University of Florida on the 11th, I think, or today or tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did Team America World Police say? Freedom isn't free. Costs $1.05. I don't know. I just felt like throwing that out.
Or
right, Julius.
freedom isn't the same for everybody else, for everyone.
All right, Julius, I'm gonna let you close it out. So, on this particular matter, just overall, of course, I'm gonna let you close out as well, Teef. Thank you for joining us. What do you think in regards to social media? Is it not safe for work? What is your, what's your key takeaway?
My key takeaway is on Facebook, always never add your bosses. That's number one. Let me tell you, and I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but I added my boss, and she likes every post that I put her on. So
you can put her in a separate group where she doesn't see your stuff, right?
So what I did, so let me tell you what I did, and I'm not talking about the boss Sean. I'm talking about somebody else. And so I got it on everybody except, and then I got an exception list. So that's one key takeaway, because I don't need my boss firing me for something I post. If I post another gun and a condom and say always strapped, I don't want to be.
But see, I appreciated that. I would have thanked with you.
But in all honesty, my key takeaway is I've always known this, but some people can get away with certain things. And it also depends on where you are, because in certain areas, I can get away with stuff. In certain areas, Max can get away with stuff. Max can get away with stuff everywhere, because Max is Max. But
what I do?
It's just one of the things. Freedom is a construct that really isn't all the way there, because you're paying for everything. So some prices may be steeper than others. That's it, Max.
All right. T, what's your one takeaway about this whole topic about social media?
If you ain't the right complexion for protection, don't get mad when corporate America spanks you when you come for their money.
All right, Sean, I see you rejoined the call. What is your take? How do you feel about social media in the workplace?
Be careful.
Always stay strapped, right, Julius?
Always stay strapped.
Zip it up and zip it out.
I feel like I should make
Big nuts.
Big nuts.
I thought I was the only person who knew about that show.